All right, let's dive in. Today, we've got a real head-scratcher for you from the Charlotte, North Carolina real estate market. We're looking at some data that seems to tell two completely different stories, and, well, we're going to figure out what's really going on. So here's the deal. In Charlotte, more than half of all home sellers are actually cutting their asking prices. But at the exact same time, the overall market price is holding rock solid. So how on earth is that possible? It feels like it shouldn't be. Let's play detective and dig into the clues.
Okay, first things first. Our first clue is all about the classics, right? Supply and demand. To even begin to solve this, we've got to ask a really basic question. How many homes are actually for sale, and how many people are out there trying to buy them? And wow, this really puts the imbalance into perspective. In just a single week, 462 homes were sold. But during that same time, only 261 new homes hit the market. Think about that for a second. For every one home that came up for sale, almost two were snapped right up. The number of available homes is shrinking, and it's shrinking fast.
So this leads us to a really important number in real estate called inventory supply. Right now in Charlotte, it's at 2.6 months. What that means is if not a single new home were listed, it would take just over 2.5 months to sell every single house currently on the market. Now, to give you some context, a balanced market is like 5 or 6 months. Anything under 5 is considered a seller's market. So 2.6 months? Yeah, that is an incredibly tight supply.
And you know what happens when supply is this low, right? Things move at lightning speed. Homes in Charlotte are selling on average a full 2 weeks faster than in the rest of North Carolina. This is a huge clue. It tells us that even with some of those price cuts we mentioned, buyers are still out there, and they are competing hard for what's available.
All right, on to clue number 2. This is where we get right into the heart of the paradox. We know demand is high, and we know supply is low. So, what gives? How can so many sellers be cutting their prices? This really gets us to the core of the mystery.
Okay, check this out. This is one side of the coin. We're talking a huge number here. Over half, 53.3% to be exact, of all homes on the market had their prices reduced in a single week. This isn't just a small trend, it's the majority of sellers. And yet, here's the other side of the coin. Despite all those individual price drops, the median list price for the entire Charlotte area is holding steady at a whopping $475,000. It's not going down, it's stable. So what is going on? How can both of these things be true at the same time?
Okay, here's the aha moment. This is how we solve the puzzle. It's all about what we're measuring. Those price cuts, they're happening on a house-by-house basis. You know, maybe a seller got a little ambitious with their starting price and had to bring it back down to reality. But the median price? That's a totally different beast. It's the statistical midpoint of every single home on the market. So, as the less expensive homes get sold off and new, even more expensive homes are listed, that middle number just stays propped up.
So now that we've kind of cracked the code on that paradox, let's zoom out a bit. Just how hot is Charlotte, really? Let's put it into context and see how it stacks up against the rest of the state and even the whole country. I mean, just take a look at this breakdown. It's pretty telling. Charlotte's median price is a full $50,000 higher than both the North Carolina and the U.S. medians. Its price per square foot is higher, and its inventory supply, that 2.6 months we talked about, is even tighter than the state and national averages. Literally, across the board, Charlotte is just in a different league. It's a premium market. And you know, the report we're looking at really nails it with this quote. It says that Charlotte's $50,000 premium creates specific negotiation dynamics. That premium isn't just a number. It means this market is so strong and so favorable to sellers that it kind of plays by its own set of rules.
All right, so we've looked at all the evidence, the tight supply, the fast sales, the tale of two different prices. It's time to put all the pieces of the puzzle together and deliver the final verdict.
So what's the bottom line? Let's break it down. Charlotte is, without a doubt, a powerful seller's market. You've got intense demand chasing way too few homes, which keeps that median price sky high. And those price cuts that started this whole mystery, they aren't a red flag or a sign of a crash. They're actually smart, strategic moves by individual sellers trying to find the perfect buyer in a really competitive, hot market. And that really leaves us with a final question to chew on, doesn't it? We started out thinking that price cuts must mean weakness, but in a market this strong, is a price cut really an act of desperation, or could it actually be a savvy strategy to generate a ton of interest and maybe even spark a bidding war? Something to think about.